part 2 of my own personal zero waste, no spend grocery budget challenge, where I'm using up the things I have in my pantry, fridge, and freezer to make meals for an entire week. I will link the first recipe video down in the description box below, so make sure to check it out because I do give you a tour of my pantry, fridge, and freezer and all the things I have on hand. This video is just for inspiration to hopefully encourage you guys for zero waste, to use up the items you have on hand before they expire, or if you have a lot of things to use up, using the things you already have can actually help stretch your grocery budget dollar just a little bit further. So let's jump into the recipes that I have to share with you today. The first meal is a great idea to use up any rice that you have on hand. And I had half a bag of frozen veggies as well. So super simple, super easy. You can make the rice any way you'd like. I'm going to put it into my Instant Pot, or my pressure cooker, I should say, because Instant Pot is the brand. I'm always reminded of this in the comments, but pressure cooker. And I just pop it in there for 12 minutes for equal portions water and rice. And then these spring rolls I showed you in my first Use It Up challenge that I posted, that is linked below. I can't eat these because they do have peanut oil with them, but my husband loves them, so I am putting them in the air fryer for him. We actually get them at the local dollar store. I haven't gotten them in a while, but we had some to use up. And then to the rice, I'm actually just adding the frozen veggies and then putting the lid back on and letting that steam for about 3 minutes before I serve. And then these are the seasonings I did decide to add. You can add whatever you have in your pantry. This is really just an idea to use up rice. I feel like we always need ideas for rice. If you're like me, you eat a lot of it and you find creative ways to use up kind of the end bags that aren't going with the recipe. Another meal I came up with was to use up this plant protein pancake and waffle mix. I know I got this on sale a long time ago and we just never used it. It kind of just got tucked back to the back of our pantry, and I always thought like I would use it on the weekends or something, but never used it. Now, if you don't have a pancake mix, you could totally make your own. There's tons of recipes on Pinterest, and I feel like everybody has kind of a tried and true pancake mix, but this is one that we had on hand and I wanted to use it up, so I decided to make a pancake bread or a pancake bake, whichever it is that you call it. I just added some water and some cinnamon and then mixed it until it was the texture or the that I wanted. It was so good. This was delicious. I'm definitely going to make this again, but with my own homemade pancake mix that I use. But I just poured it into a pan and popped it in the oven at 350 degrees, topped with bananas, and it baked for about 25 minutes. Now, pancake bake can be a little bit fickle depending on how thick or how thin that you like it. I know we've made it on a sheet pan before and it cooks a lot faster, and then obviously the thicker it is, the slower it takes to bake, but I just checked it in the middle to make sure it was done. So if this is something you do make at home, I don't have exact temperature / timings, but this was really good. The only thing is we didn't have any maple syrup on hand, and we really like maple syrup with pancakes. So I kind of dug around a little bit and I did find some date syrup that we had on hand for another recipe that I was like, oh, we could use that. So I just drizzled a little bit over the top and it was like super fancy and super delicious. Date syrup is very, very sweet in my opinion, so a little goes a long way. This was also pomegranate flavored, so it added a little zing. It was delicious, and we did get 4 servings out of this, and I just thought it was just like the best breakfast ever because it was made ahead for the next day. So this is my husband's favorite meal. I made this so many times in the winter. It is a noodles with peanut sauce, and you can use any kind of veggies that you have on hand. I tend to just grab a frozen bag of veggies and throw it in with it. It's so delicious, and the sauce is soy sauce, powdered peanut butter, and spicy mustard. Now, I don't eat this because I can't have peanut butter, but you can always substitute for powdered almond butter. When I did a recipe share on this video for Vlogmas, so many recipe shares came through to my Instagram. So many people who said that their families weren't plant-based or vegan, their kids, their husbands, their spouses, families that came to celebrate the holidays with them. It was like fake out, takeout, and so many of you enjoyed this recipe and told me how much your family loved it. And a lot of people really liked the suggestion to use almond butter or cashew butter, whatever you have on hand. And you don't have to use the powdered version if you don't want to. If you use real nut butters, it makes it creamier and it's so much more flavorful. You can even use sunflower butter before, which I did a couple of weeks ago. But this is actually something that I made for my husband for dinners this week, and he loved it. And I just did it with the spring rolls again because I did have a couple packages of those to use up. Now, if I would have had sunflower butter or almond butter on hand, I would have substituted for that.
My husband actually can't have almond butter, so I would have probably done half and half with the sauce, but I split this into 3 meals and it was just perfect for, like I said, for dinners. And then what I did for myself is actually use a quinoa box that I had on hand. I got this a long time ago as a gift, and I really needed to use it up. I hate when things sit and then I just don't know how to use them, so I try to just figure it out once I'm tired of letting it sit in my pantry. So this was actually a really pretty quinoa. This, again, like I said, it was a gift from a company to me. So once my water was boiling, I just put my quinoa in boiling water, put a lid over it, and then once it was kind of cooked about 90%, I added in the edamame and let it kind of steam, mixed it all together. But then I started thinking I want to add more to this than what this is in general. So I did split this into 3 meals, but I had a couple extra apples in my crisper that you probably saw in the first video, and I had some romaine hearts that I also wanted to use up, and I just kind of made a salad with this. Now my portion of quinoa is very, very small because quinoa tends to not sit well with me, and I will say after this video I will never eat it again because it just is not something that sits in my stomach very well. My body doesn't like it, but if you can do quinoa, this is delicious and it's great to put it on a salad.
I hope you really enjoyed today's video. I hope that it gave you some inspiration and maybe some meal ideas of things that you maybe would never have created. Maybe you have some things in your own pantry, fridge, and freezer that need used up, and this was like the little knock on the door that you needed to use those things up before they expire. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye!